Hi guys, Jamie York here. Over the last few weeks, a lot more people have been asking me, should I quit my job? And actually, it's really concerning me quite a lot, the positions they're in, and they definitely shouldn't be leaving. So in this video, I want to cover if you should quit your job. If you should, when should you do it? And when's the best time to move into something specifically aimed at you if you are some form of entrepreneur? For those that don't know me, my name's Jamie York. I've been investing in property and businesses for the better part of a decade now, and I want to produce videos on this channel covering everything business, personal finance, property mindset, and much more. So if that's you, make sure to hit the subscribe button so that you can see the videos as they're coming out. And if this is the first video you've watched, forgive this. It's the middle of Movember right now. So if you don't know, it's all about raising awareness around men's mental health, and we're halfway through the month. So if you're interested in donating to a great cause, I'll put the link below in the video so you can donate towards that. So let's jump straight in. So the big thing that's concerning me right now is the lack of security in the macroeconomic world that we're looking at. So we've not had this for a long time, but we've had Brexit coming on board, which is now at this point in time coming into play. We've got the presidency in the US, which is, you know, Biden's basically won, but Trump's having none of it. We've got COVID, we've got unemployment on the rise. So now's the time, if you are thinking of quitting your job, to really take account of the concerns that are around there, and should you do it in the first place. Okay, so the big thing, first of all, is why are you looking to quit in the first place? Are you unhappy in your job? Which, by the way, I'm just going to put a caveat now. No amount of money is worth unhappiness. If you genuinely are unhappy, feeling anxious, depressed in your job, get rid of it, find a way to have security in your life. But, you know, just make sure you understand that that financial insecurity will impact other things, but nothing's worth unhappiness. Understand the reason that you're quitting your job in the first place, because you can anchor to that and it becomes more reasonable. The bit that really concerns me is I've been involved in a number of businesses. Most of my businesses are property related, but I've got external businesses in the fitness sector and classic cars, etc. And people quit their jobs thinking that they're going to suddenly have financial freedom and be able to do whatever they want. 95% plus of the time, you're quitting your 9 to 5 that's actually giving you a secure, decent income to then go work 5 till 9 on a McDonald's worker salary, which is absolutely fine, by the way, but it's probably not the reason why you quit your job in the first place. So really understand what it is that you're getting into. If you're in property, and I know a lot of my viewers are, then for some reason, we've got this warped situation going on where we think we're going to quit our job. And it's one of those weird ones. People are pushing to quit their job to then get into property, to then get out of property, because in the training space for property, there's this famed passive income, right? What you need to understand is, unless you are doing property trading, deal packaging, it's not a business. It's not. No matter what somebody tells you, property is not a business. You can treat it like a business, but it's not. If you call stocks a business where you're buying them for the long term, then yes, it's a business, but it's not. It's an investment, okay? You need money to invest in property to then pay you money. Doesn't have to be your money, but if you're doing the passive investment thing, it's money that needs to go into it. Also, by the way, to get access to finance, and I'll touch on this more in a moment, but to get access to finance in the first place, you need to have income coming in. I'll touch more on that a bit in a moment. Okay, so linking to why you need to do this, and I want to cover this as a separate point, because it's not about how much resources you have, it's about how resourceful you are with them. I'm going to say that again. It's not about how much resources you have, it's how resourceful you are with them. A lot of people say, I need to quit my job because then I can focus the amount of hours that I need to on my new business and project. The truth is, you don't know shit about utilizing hours on your own, okay? You need to think of yourself as a kid now. Have you ever watched Shawshank Redemption? I know I'm now comparing a job against prison. I don't mean to, but if you've watched Shawshank, best film in the world, by the way, if you haven't watched it, and that's a fact, not an opinion. If you've seen it, at the end of it all, at the end of all of those years, they come out, they can't go to the toilet without being told to. You know, you've got the guy bagging. It's kind of the same with a job, but being proactive with your time. When you've got a job, you turn up at a certain time, you leave at a certain time, you do things within it, you're managed effectively, and outside of that, you don't know what to do. So if I suddenly said, right, you've got 60, 70 hours to play with, most of you wouldn't know what to do. Okay, so you do not need 50, 60, 70 hours a week in order to be successful. Some of the best months I've had in my business is when I have been working 15, 20 hours a week. We tend to think we're more important than we actually are within the business, where actually 90% of the stuff other people do on an admin piece, and you just need to do your high value activities. So instead of quitting your job to get those hours, make sure you're getting home and work 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Monday to Friday, maybe a few hours on the weekend, and really get resourceful with the hours that you've got, so that when you do transition, which we'll get to in a moment, you're able to utilize those hours as they're coming in. So I think the biggest risk is reliant on deals. So I see this in the property sector a lot, where people get something called a rent-to-rent deal or a lease option, or they package a deal. And the truth is, they think because they've got lucky, or they haven't got lucky, because they've got one deal, that's going to be representative of what they see. But the truth is, rent-to-rent, lease options, every property deal, property trades, packaging could fall out of bed, could go wrong. And I see people becoming way too reliant on the deals. Okay, and this is the same in business. You're always trading a product for money or a service for money, and people tend to get one or two clients or one or two products that they shift on and go, well, great, I've been doing that for the last 2 months. That's a projection of the next 24 months. No, it's not. Okay, that is not a projection of the future at all. That is a blip in the radar for your business. So just don't quit your job based on that, because suddenly you become very reliant on customers, on shifting a product, and then what happens is you end up taking on properties that you don't really want. It's just, I'd rather take on an okay property rather than wait for a great one. Or you end up taking on customers that, let's face it, they're dicks from the start, and we've all been in this situation, right, where we take on a customer because we need the money, and they're a pain in the arse all the way through. Because you get desperate, you create anxiety around your financial lack of discipline in there. Okay, so don't quit your job too soon, because you become too reliant on the customers, products, services, and properties that you've got in front of you at that moment in time. So what that links into is the middle class trap. So this isn't the video for it. Maybe I'll do a separate one on this about the middle class, lower class, and upper class. And actually the worst one is the middle class, because you are trapped in this reality. So, you know, you're trying to keep up with the Joneses or whatever it is. You've got the BMW, the decent house, all of that. And so you've got these increased expenses that you're relying on that money on. And that's what happens with this is you don't know what you enjoy doing. And if you're going to create a business, a lot of people go, well, we create a business that's going to make a shit ton of money, right? No, like you can make money in any business, any service, as long as there's a demand for it. So pick something you're going to be happy at. You can't think of the exit all the time going into something. So you need to enjoy what you're actually doing, right? And I see it in the property world a lot. And I know a lot of you aren't property, but bear with me. A lot of people in the property, they listen to these strategies and go, rent to rent, that's the one for me. Or deal packaging. I love deal packaging, but is it for everyone? No. Buy to lets, HMO, lease options, exchange delayed completions, assisted sales, whatever it is. And they go, that sounds good. They get sold into it, which is fine. They go into it and then they decide to quit their job and go full time into it. Now, actually, what tends to happen is a lot of people hate what they're doing. The problem is they've quit their job and now they're relying on that income, so they're trapped within it. So what advice would I give? Because it's all right focusing on the negative, but what would I actually do? What I would do is I would take small, consistent risks, okay? So if I've got my job, I can try something. Sure, I might spend a couple of grand on training, spend some hours investing into that. 3 months later, I might get a couple of deals and go, actually, I really don't enjoy this. But because I've got that security in my job, I can go, cool, I'm gonna stop that. So a lot of people ask me, you know, how do you end up being so passionate around what you do? Well, because I did a load of stuff that I didn't like first, and then I just got rid of them. It's the same as, you know, if you hire somebody and they're fantastic, amazing. How do you find great people? Usually by going through some crap people, hiring some people you shouldn't have hired and moving them on. right? But you've got to find what you're going to be happy and passionate about moving forward. And part of that is finding what you don't enjoy doing with the safety and security of the job in the background. So the next thing I want to cover is investment. If you're in property, you're going to need mortgages, investor capital to purchase and leverage your portfolio. If you're in business, 9 times out of 10, you're going to look for some inertia, some seed capital to get your services up and running. Maybe you need some office space, maybe you need some products that you need to actually purchase if you're an Amazon FBA or whatever it is, okay? Now you're going to need that capital. What do you often need to get capital? Well, you need money coming in the first place. If you don't have a job and you don't have some secure income coming in or some history of income coming in, you're very unlikely to get a bank lending to you, because even if you have a personal guarantee, which means you are personally liable, you've got no money to back it up in the first place, right? So in property, you either need 3 months of income, usually of a salary of 20 grand or more, but to access to all the market, 25,000 per annum, or 2 years worth of SA302s, which are 2 years of books, okay, written down and showing that you're actually making money. So again, if you're not in that situation, it's better to build that up and have access to finance. And remember, it's about the resourcefulness around the resources available to you, and you can utilize that and have a soft exit coming out on the other side. Okay, so just to wrap up this video and conclude what we're going on and give you some advice to move forward with, is security gives you options, okay? If you take away the security, and I get it, by the way, I'm a massive hypocrite in some of these videos, and hands up to that, by the way, because I want to go, 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 go. I want everything yesterday. But what you need to realize is when you're building your empire, if you visualize whether you're in property, FBA, service, products, you're building your skyscraper, okay? But the first 3 to 5 years that you're building on, they are your foundations, and you need to decide, do you want 3 foot, 6 foot, 10 meter footings with solid cement dried out to build upon, or do you want to build this skyscraper amongst quicksand? And the problem is, I see a lot of people building great buildings, metaphorically, and they've not got great foundations. So even though they're bringing in the money, they are cracking left, right, and center because they haven't got the security, they haven't got the foundations right. Just remember, growth is not linear, it's a curve going forward. So the first 3 to 5 years are getting those foundations. And part of that, by the way, is the first 2 years of setting up your side hustle. And it's called a side hustle for a reason, because it's a side to your job. Build it up and then go for it. It's the same as when people say, oh yeah, I was a college dropout. There's no such thing as a college dropout, by the way. You don't drop out of university, you put it on pause. You can go back at any point to carry on. But the point is, all of these successful people that were college dropouts, pretty much every single one of them started their business and started making money from it before they dropped out. They still had the security moving forward, and so should you. So my final recommendation when you start replacing this income is to match your income first and then go 50% above. So to make this simple, if I'm earning £1,000 a month, I want to be earning 1,500 from my side hustle to feel comfortable about quitting my job. And even then, I wouldn't just suddenly quit. I'd go to my boss and ask, look, can I cut down my hours? Maybe you want to halve your hours to 20 hours a week. And the reason for that is you don't know how to use that extra time. A lot of people think if I had another 40 hours, I'd do this. You don't. Okay, you need to get more clients, you need to get more services, and you need to get more products. You need to spend more time raising finance, whatever it is. So I'd cut down to part-time hours, and then what I do is once I know how to be resourceful with that, I then quit my job fully and focus fully on my hustle, really building out and connecting to why I did it in the first place. So I hope that's helpful, guys, and I don't want to cover everything that's negative about this, but ultimately, if you're unhappy in what you're doing, of course, get out of that. Nothing's worth, no matter what amount of money, is worth unhappiness in your life, you know, especially right now with everything externally going on. Focus on your internal happiness is the most important. But other than that, don't jump into something. Don't take away your security, because I promise you the anxiety will be exacerbated if you're worried about there being too much month at the end of the money. So take the pragmatic approach. Yes, it's not sexy. Yes, it's not exciting or as exciting as going all in, but it's pragmatic, it's secure, and it's safe. And remember, you've got many, many, many years ahead of you that you can be utilizing to grow your business. So hopefully this has added value, guys. If it has, make sure to hit the like button and let me know what you think in the comments by leaving a comment, and I'll make sure to reply to every single one. And of course, if you're interested in personal finance, business, marketing, mindset, and everything encompassing that, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. And finally, I've got this monstrosity on my face for a reason. I'm trying to raise some awareness around men's mental health right now through the Movember movement. If you're interested and have got any value from me in these videos at all, I'll leave a link below, and make sure to leave a donation. Every pound counts, and I'll see you in the next video. You're going to be looking to leverage using mortgage. So the next thing I want to cover is no, I was laughing. So the next thing I want to cover, fuck, bollocks.